This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Welcome into the news at 6 on this Tuesday evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins.
First tonight, a traffic alert. You will want to avoid southbound I-465 at I-69 on the northeast side because an overturned semi is causing very slow traffic and backups. Indiana State Police says there are minor injuries, but again, avoid southbound I-465 at I-69 on the northeast side because of backups due to an overturned semi.
With coronavirus cases climbing this month, the state's mask mandate is now in effect and will last well into August at least. Some businesses are having to adjust to this new regulation. Working for you, RTV6's Stephanie Wade spoke with city leaders in one Indianapolis suburb to get a feel for how they are implementing these new rules.
Starting this week, masks are required everywhere statewide while inside at public places. Businesses like Ella Bardo and the Imperial Spa in Carmel now adjusting to the new standards.
It's just getting our clients a little bit more adjusted to it.
Ella Bardo and the Imperial Spa in the Carmel City Center just had their grand opening on March 6th this year.
And then we shut down March 16th. So it was like, yay.
And then,
Offering massages, facials, and other treatments, their industry has been majorly impacted by the pandemic.
Literally impossible. Like, there's no way I can, have fake hands and do your face from 6 feet away. It's not going to happen.
right. And they can't massage someone if they're not, it's contact. It is body contact.
For that reason, they've had to implement many safety precautions, including face masks.
We immediately have them wash their hands. We take their temperature. And we also have masks available for free. So I know it's hard with everybody adjusting right now. I'll sometimes still forget my mask in the car. So we have the free ones, and then we also have the cute ones if people want to buy those.
Sometimes an inconvenience, but it's not that much of an inconvenience to keep our businesses open.
City Councilor Bruce Kimball says the city has a campaign, Wearing is Caring, with signs up and down the Monon Trail. Plus, the Carmel Fire and Police Departments have been working at different community events, trying to educate people and hand out free masks. According to the statewide mandate issued by Governor Holcomb, anyone older than 8 years old is required to wear a mask in public indoor spaces, on public transit, and outside when it's not possible to socially distance. Exemptions apply when you are eating, drinking, or participating in strenuous activity.
We passed a resolution very early asking people to wear masks. But again, we had been locked up and things were starting to drop. But now we're seeing things starting to move back up. So I think people are realizing the virus hasn't gone away. And if we really want to get back to semi-normal before the vaccine comes out, that we really do need to take the mask seriously.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, face masks will be mandatory until at least August 26. Officials say that date may change depending on the state's COVID-19 numbers. State and local health departments are charged with enforcing compliance through education, according to the executive order. Violators will not face jail time or a fine.
And there is another spike in new COVID-19 cases and deaths in Indiana. The State Department of Health reports 809 new cases of the coronavirus, which is 248 more new cases than were reported yesterday. So far, 63,678 people in Indiana have been diagnosed with COVID-19. The Department of Health also confirmed 16 new deaths. Yesterday, there were 3 new deaths. Since the pandemic began, 2,725 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. More than 716,000 people in Indiana have been tested for COVID-19. 8.9% of them tested positive for it. And data from the state shows 907 people in Indiana hospitals with COVID-19 as of yesterday. That is up from 835 coronavirus hospitalizations on Sunday and 834 hospitalizations on Saturday.
Right now, it's most important that we help black businesses because 60% of them are going out of business.
The Midwest Black Restaurant Week is back in Indianapolis with an emphasis on takeout and delivery. It's a much needed week for restaurants that are trying to work hard to take care of you during the pandemic. RTV6's Troy Washington explains why this campaign is needed more than ever right now.
Maxine's Chicken and Waffles claims there's a taste of love in every bite, and they are planning on serving up plenty this Midwest Black Restaurant Week.
We're just trying to capitalize on anything possible. We have to be creative in the way we generate sales.
COVID-19 set them back a bit, as it did many restaurants, but Austin Bonds thinks this spotlight could bring more people through their doors when it's needed most. In fact, last year, he says Maxine saw a 25% increase because of Black Restaurant Week.
With the coronavirus, we have been picking up lately. So originally, we were only doing to-go only for the first 3 months. And we noticed a 75% decrease in our business.
Over at Tease Me Cafe, teasing experts say support goes a long way right now.
Well, right now, it's most important that we help Black businesses because 60% of them are going out of business.
And he's just happy that he can help people to slow down and escape the stress of a pandemic.
Tea is not coffee. You know, when you drink a tea, it takes 3 minutes to 10 minutes to get a cup of tea. So already right there, you gotta slow down. You gotta take a breath, you gotta inhale it. And our teas, since they're loose leaf, they're high quality. Whatever they smell like, they taste like.
So whether grabbing a bite or unwinding with tea, is guaranteed that Black Restaurant Week has something for everyone. And your support can make all the difference during a tough time. Working for you in downtown Troy, Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. This year, organizers have waived registration fees for restaurants and opened registration to food trucks and meal prep services as well. We've got a list of the participating restaurants on our website at theindychannel.com.
Tonight, we are focusing on academic and athletics with schools reopening in a matter of days. Only on RTV6, the top doctor leading the national response to COVID-19 is discussing whether Hoosier kids should play school sports this fall. Dr. Deborah Burke sat down with Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez for about 45 minutes on Friday. With more than 1 million school-age kids in grades K through 12, there are many concerns about them returning to the classroom and playing sports.
Football and band, track and field. Schools are scrambling because in those kinds of sports you can't socially distance. What do? Do we wait till the spring? Do we delay till next year? What's your best advice?
Well, you said track and field, and I think you can socially distance in track and field. There's some sports that are open to social distancing and precautions, and we'd have to figure each sport is going to have a different risk and a different understanding. I think it's good that some of our national sport teams and our, like the baseball has gone back. They can socially distance and really seeing what is those risk factors and what are the risks to individual players and coaches. And I think we don't have a clear understanding about what that risk is, because remember, when we closed in March, we closed everything. Now that we're open and opening with a careful way, like here in Indiana, and watching each piece, I can tell you from other states where we have gotten into trouble when you talked about opening up, it was the bars. And it was bars where people could not socially distance. So any gathering indoors, and you're absolutely right. Your wife gets sick in October because the windows are closed, the heat is on, there's less ventilation in those classrooms, and I think we've learned cracking windows may be extraordinarily helpful, not heat efficient, but helpful in really creating air exchange. There are things that we can do to make it safer for children and teachers.
And you can watch our entire conversation with Dr. Burks on our website at theindychannel.com and the RTV6 app. And new information about a shooting in Carmel that left 2 people dead, including the suspect, and 1 person injured. The Carmel Police Department now says this all started as a domestic situation in the Spring Creek neighborhood near Hazel Dell Parkway and 146th Street. Investigators say when they arrived at the home, they found 2 people shot and the suspect nearby still armed. Carmel police say the suspect led officers on a brief foot chase. That's when they say an officer fired their weapon. The suspect died. He has been identified as 26-year-old Julio Cesar Virula. Police say they are waiting for an autopsy to determine Virula's cause of death. Investigators say the victim who died is 28-year-old Taylor Leigh Cox. Now, the victim who survived is a 66-year-old woman. All 3 lived in Carmel.
We are learning that the Indianapolis Indians is forming a committee to discuss potentially changing the team name. The team dates back to 1902 and is one of the oldest minor league franchises in professional baseball history. Team management says the name is derived from the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis. Indiana means land of the Indians. Indianapolis means city of Indians. The team says it will collaborate with the community and appropriate stakeholders and will listen to and exchange ideas regarding the name of the franchise.
Hiring Hoosiers, we have a way you can social distance and still find your next job. RTV6 is teaming up with the Indiana Black Expo for the virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair this Thursday from noon until 4 p.m. Our virtual interview space will let you connect directly with recruiters and HR executives from the comfort of your home. To get connected, visit indianablackexpo.com. Kevin.
Don't hit the button. Temperatures, they're in the 60s tonight, but not for the only time in the 7-day forecast. There are a number of comfortable nights ahead.
Some parents are choosing to keep their kids out of the classroom as the pandemic rages on. We're working for you, showing you various resources for homeschooling your children.
Ready to rock and roll.
Life in the fast lane continues for one of USAC's racing's legendary champions. Coming up in sports, we show you how Dave Darland is still turning laps with drivers half his age and leaving many of them in his tracks.
Well, as you look at the transition to cooler temperatures today, it was only 5 degrees, but it felt a lot different than that because we pretty much erased the humidity across central Indiana. So 5 degrees felt like a whole lot more than that. Let's talk about our temperature trend here as we go ahead. With our chance for rain increasing Thursday, we'll also be on the cooler side of a weather system. 60% chance we'll have some thunderstorms Thursday, especially in the southern half of the state. So as you go from Indy south, rain chances will increase. We'll hold on to low rain chances Friday through the weekend. There'll be a southern storm system, and the heat and humidity will remain south of central Indiana and south of the weather system. So we'll be on the mild side. I think you'll enjoy the mild side. Temperatures, they'll trend this way. Tomorrow, we're still at 88, but the humidity not too bad. Then a noticeable transition, and we stay there. It's not like the cooler temperatures will be here for a day or two and then pulled out from under us. We'll hold on to below average temperatures Saturday. As a matter of fact, we'll be lucky to make it out of the 70s. A spotless sky now as you look from the Motor Speedway to downtown Indianapolis. Temperatures 87 in Lafayette and Bloomington. Temperature 2 degrees cooler in Indianapolis. Terre Haute comfortably 86 degrees. There are your metro area temperatures. Will cool down nicely when the air is dry, when the humidity is not as high. You can stretch temperatures from morning low to afternoon high and then cool back off. As cool as 62 from Terre Haute through Columbus, 61 in Richmond. There are the highs tomorrow. Warmest temperatures in the 7-day forecast. Dry, upper 80s for most of us. We'll transition to that chance for thunderstorms Thursday, again, mainly in the southern half of the state. Temperatures in the low 80s for the afternoon high. 7 a.m., lots of clouds, just a couple of showers. There's the rain in the southern half of the state as we go into the afternoon hours on Thursday. Put it all together for you in a very organized 7-day forecast. Temperatures are coolest Saturday, but Thursday through next week. And I'd even say through next week, not just Tuesday, but beyond, temperatures should remain below average, keeping highs generally in the lower 80s. And during that stretch, the rain chances, overall rain chances, remain fairly low. Mark and Amanda?
All right, Kevin, appreciate it. It's a new school year and many parents are asking, what am I going to do with my child? RTV6 is working to make sure you have the tools and the information that you need to help your kid go safely back to school if that's your choice.
Our Lauren Casey is finding a lot of options families can choose between. This includes traditional school, e-learning, virtual charter schools, and even homeschooling. But you're learning is a very unique choice from the others.
I think what's good for parents is just simply to know that there are options.
Zach and Megan Duke are living in the Center Grove School District with their 3 kids, Malia, Natalie, and little Judah. Zach is a missionary, Megan a stay-at-home mom and music artist. And just as faith is a common theme in Megan's music, the Dukes are relying on their faith, especially in these uncertain times.
We're just trusting that God is in control, that He's going to continue to lead us and guide us.
The faith just helps us to stay undisturbed in seasons of disturbance.
And they're taking a leap of faith, making the choice to homeschool their children, starting with Malia, who will be in the 1st grade. And it's a change. Zach has had family members in the Center Grove School District since its beginning.
All those who are going to the Center Grove school system, I know they're trying to figure it out. They're working really, really hard, and we want the absolute best for all the families and staff.
Supporting that community is still important while also building a homeschool community for Malia on their family farm.
Creating just a learning environment and atmosphere where she can have some peers as well.
But yet creating a network where there's a tutor that we can have that can have the same curriculum that can help all these families.
And creating a safe space.
It's small, you can distance easy, and you can also communicate with all the parents easily. And this will be out on the farm, and so there's going to be, they can go out and be in nature, they can play outside.
Zach and Megan spent a lot of time researching homeschooling, but many parents right now may be just looking at this as an option for the first time.
And maybe now they feel empowered. Some of them maybe feel pushed.
Tara Bentley is the executive director for the Indiana Association of Home Educators. Since 1983, the group has helped homeschooling families get started by answering questions and providing resources and support.
How many more families are contacting you compared to a normal year?
We have seen such a huge spike that I don't even know that we've had time to collect all the numbers.
There's still confusion in the age of COVID-19 as to what is homeschooling.
We have legal requirements that are based on our definition, how we're classified. So it's really important that people do understand the differences.
By definition, homeschooling in Indiana is non-public and non-accredited. Parents report attendance to the state and agree to provide an equivalent education, but the state cannot define that, so there's a lot of freedom.
We look at what the public school is doing maybe as a template, but we are free to decide what that actually looks like.
Bentley says that homeschooling allows parents to customize education to meet the needs of the child, but there are many challenges.
Even our homeschool community is overwhelmed with how will they meet in a way that they used to. We all hate the term a new normal. I would say it's not normal in any circumstance. And so you have to give yourself grace no matter what choice you make.
And for Zach and Megan, being supportive of all choices is important as we navigate this coming school year.
Giving grace to ourselves and grace to all the other families where we're just trying to figure this thing out.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, RTV6.
For a link to free resources for homeschooled families, click on this story at theindychannel.com/safely-back-to-school. And as part of RTV6's Safely Back to School initiative, we want to tell you about a back to school town hall brought to you by our partners at Radio 1. Hear from local leaders in education and healthcare and get important info and best practices to help keep your children safe. The Radio 1 Back to School Town Hall is this Thursday, July 30th from 1 to 3 p.m. You can listen live on Hot 96.3 AM, 1310, The Light, 106.7 WTLC, and the RTV6 Facebook page.
It lacked the fanfare that it usually has, but the Colts have started reporting to their training facility for the start of their training camp, and it's all with safety and social distancing in mind. Clear partitions have been installed in between individual lockers. All of the staff are wearing masks. New Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers is there. Rookies took their COVID-19 tests a week ago. Quarterbacks took their tests last Thursday. The rest of the veterans took them today. All players need to have 2 negative COVID tests before they can enter the building.
Indianapolis is a racing city, and it's not just because of the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400.
USAC is a big part of the city's rich racing history, and one of USAC's legends is still dominating, leaving drivers half his age behind. Brad Brown shows us how Dave Darlin continues to do what he does in our Sports Extra Spotlight.
USAC's top national series are filled with the next generation of short track racing's young stars.
No problems up front for CJ Leary, and he will get it done once again.
And in the mix with all of those teenagers and 20-somethings, Dave Darlin continues to turn the wheel as well as anyone.
Yeah, it's like the old Garth Brooks song, the competition's getting younger all the time, and that's true.
At 53 years old, Darlin has pretty much done it all in his racing career and raced against some dirt track legends.
There's been lots of them, going back to Bob Kinzer, Jack Hewitt, Rich Vogler. I mean, nowadays, Sunshine and Justin Grant and Wyndham, and I could name. There's a bunch of there's always been a big list of great drivers, and that's not changed today.
One of just 6 drivers to win all 3 USAC National Championships, Silver Crown Sprints and Midgets. His 62 sprint feature wins are still the most all-time. 2017, a member of USAC's Hall of Fame class. So what keeps him going?
I can't really pinpoint what does keep me going. I still enjoy it to a certain level, but it's deep and competitive, and we're somewhat competitive, just not quite maybe like I used to be, but we're still having fun and things are going okay.
The Darlin name runs deep around the dirt tracks. Dave won 100 features driving with and for his dad, Bob. Now in his 5th decade behind the wheel, Dave continues carrying on a tradition of hard work and dedication to racing.
We got a good race team, and my car is fast. Got a good team here with helping me make this thing fast, and good sponsors to support us. So we're happy to be where we're at.
And so the laps keep turning. The hot summer nights spent looking for that next checkered flag, and knowing that he's got more laps behind him than ahead.
It is winding down. I'm not going to do this, very many more years, but it's still fun, and I enjoy it.
Darlin will be in action for the rest of Indiana's Sprint Week. Racing continues Wednesday night in Terre Haute. On Thursday, it's Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville. They'll be in Bloomington on Friday, and Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt hosts the finale on Saturday. USACtickets.com for more information. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Warm and dry tomorrow. Thunderstorm chances return in the southern half of the state, especially on Thursday. Amanda?
Take a look outside. All that sunshine is right there. We'll see you back here at 7.